Thursday, the 1st of May 2025, and this is Adventure Now Season 6, Episode 1 in the Sunrise. Welcome back on board. We've got quite a few things to say to bring you up to speed. I think traditionally we've shown you casting off the lines when we leave the marina, but that's not what's happened this year. We've mixed it up a little bit. That way is Stranrear. We are anchored in Loch Ryan, and for the first time in a long time this boat is headed south, but not too far, just to the Isle of Man. I was last there 10 years ago to watch the Isle of Man TT. Have never visited by boat, so this is a first for us, and we're going to a wedding. A couple of years ago we met an awesome couple called Pedro and Rhona, who have a boat very similar to ours, and they came alongside us in Stornoway. There was a case of mistaken identity. They thought that we were their friends, hence they were coming alongside us, and as they got closer they realised that we weren't. But guess what? We have things in common. We went to the pub, we got drunk, we became friends, they're getting married, they invited us, and that's why we're going to the Isle of Man. We're ready to go, we got a northerly, so let's get underway and we'll bring you up to speed with everything else that's been going on. Welcome back. Time to go.
I can see the marker. 11 o'clock. Reef 1 closed. Reef 3 open.
You ready?
Yes.
Right, go slow please. Fast please. Stop please. Beautiful. We had an awesome winter, cosy and warm in our house on the land, but it was still absolutely wonderful to get back to sea. We left port on the 15th of April, having had a month of crazy and balmy sunny weather beforehand. But once on board, it turned cold again and the woolen long johns came back out. But if you like adventure, as we do, then you have to embrace all these changes as they come along. And that is exactly how we love it. The Scottish sunshine is upon us. It's pretty hazy as we make our way south, and it makes me laugh because Asher and I use XC weather and windy, and sometimes they seem to go out of sorts and the forecasts are wild and wacky, shall we say. So Asher's renamed XC weather as XC wild guess, and I think windy is too windy to go, because if you put it on the gust settings you'd never leave port. So we've come out with a gorgeous forecast today, 15 knots from the northwest, but it's yet to show up, but I think it'll be here, so we're going to be patient and enjoy the dryness after the deluge of rain when we left Loch Ryan. So what's been going on? I've got a few things to get you up to speed with really, and first of all I'm going to talk about the hangover that was our Tantra teacher training from Tantra Essence. I'm still not entirely sure how to succinctly put it together, but I am going to say it was a hangover, and I think maybe me more than Asher. I think Asher bounced back pretty well, but it took a bit of a toll on me. I'm still not entirely sure what was going on, but one thing I have not changed my mind on is the fact that for some expert teachers, I don't believe, in my opinion, our opinion, that they delivered a good product at all, and I'd go as far as to say that it was negligent. And I say that because some of the work, the internal work, brought up some trauma for me, and I saw that trauma coming up from a lot of people, and I didn't see that trauma being dealt with. I don't think you can just rake up the mud and then not tidy it up afterwards. I don't think that's good at all, and I maintain that opinion. as strongly as I ever have. And when we left, we actually did a video diary. We were so exhausted and we didn't know what had really gone on, so we did a video diary that we then submitted to the organisers, the two main people and the rest of the people on the team. We addressed it to, well, not all of the people on the team. How many people did we address it to? Was it 3? 4 people on the team. So, and we had communications from one guy, and the first communication we had was, well, because we initially were saying we wanted a refund, and the first communication we had was, well, we'll give you a refund if you sign this contract saying that you won't disclose or show this video diary to anyone else. Now, I think that really was a warning sign for us. If they're so keen to silence us, then that didn't feel very good at all. And what also didn't feel is we had one guy in the frame who would talk to us, who was actually quite nice on the course and was one of the organisers rather than the teachers. But through all of our direct correspondence with the 2 people that ran the course, we never ever received the courtesy of one reply from them. So I think that told us, and probably tells you, all you need to know about that organisation. Having said all that, we are very spiritual, so we believe that everything happens for a reason. There are many things that we have learnt because of that, and I would say there are many things that they should learn because of our feedback, but their journey is not our journey, so I think we will leave that one there. But we are not going to sell ourselves out of our time. Time is the most precious commodity any of us ever have, so we're not going to contract out of ours for the sake of saving someone's reputation. And if they don't even have the courtesy in them to see what went wrong or talk to us on a human level, then yeah, I think there's other things at play there. So there was a bit of a hangover from that, which was why we left Adventure Now Season 5 where it was, and we retreated to Largs for the winter. Although we didn't stay in Largs for the winter, we ended up staying in Kip. So let's delve down into the honesty there. We had, just prior to the commencement of our winter deal, what I described as 2 less than cosy interactions with 2 guys in the office. I'm not saying that we deserve special treatment. We deserve treatment that is befitting for any human being. And I feel that if it was a school, those 2 guys should have been sent to detention, and detention would have been learning PR. So we decided that, again, very spiritually, we believe that if something's in your way, then perhaps you're on the wrong path. So we're actually grateful to those 2 individuals for making us think and decide that we would move to Kip Marina for the winter, which is closer to our house and cheaper. Win-win. So there you are. We didn't complain at all, because I don't really believe in complaining. I think they showed us that our winter was not destined to be spent in Largs. We still love Largs, let me make that very clear, and we intend to return. It was just that Kip came up for us, it suited us. We had a great winter in there. Of course, the boat sits there on our own now because we live on land during the winter, and Storm Owen came through, 100-mile-an-hour gusts through the marina, and the good ship Altar of Down was perfectly safe and well. So that was pretty good. And I can say we absolutely adored our winter with continuous hot running water, central heating. We love Scotland. We fall in love with Scotland so much. And so now to split our time between the house and the fine ship Altar of Down is a dream come true for us. We're very, very happy with that. I'd just like to say as well that you saw a scruffy me for the first scene of Adventure Now Season 6. So I've smartened myself up. I think you deserve better than that. And this is as much as I can do. So I hope this is good enough. But as we come down the coast here, I'm also going to tell you that, yeah, we jumped into Season 6 without showing you every step of the way so far, and that's because we've got a couple of other changes going on. We're not going to pour as much time into YouTube, and I can say that, you know, our 6th season we're up to somewhere around 5,000 subscribers, and of course we wanted more than that by now, of course we did, but it hasn't happened. So I think instead of messing with it, we're just going to let it be. You know what? Adventure Now is going to be exactly what it's going to be. So we are going to concentrate on giving you some more specific content, I guess. First one is our passage to the Isle of Man. So that's what you can expect from us, I think, going forward. Thank you very much indeed for continuing to watch, and we will allow this channel to grow exactly as it's intended to grow. And the other reason that we want to have a little bit more time to ourselves is very, very exciting. Asher and I have started a business. We have started a coaching business. We are now spirituality, life and relationship coaches. And since I quit my job, I always said to Asher, for the first time in my life, I know with Adventure Now that I'm on the right path. I've no idea where it's going, but I know I'm on the right path. And thanks to all of our experiences, Tantra Essence included, finding the love of my life, who's behind this camera included, we are now spirituality, life and relationship coaches. It is the most rewarding thing I have ever embarked on. We are in the process of growing the business, advertising. I'm not sure how we're going to do that yet, but I know this is the path. And I think you've probably listened for long enough at this moment. We do have some other news, but I'm going to save that for when the wind fills in and we're sitting in the cockpit, Perkins having a rest, being blown beautifully towards our destination at the Isle of Man. Until then, you'll have to wait. So we'll catch up with you a bit later.
Liberating, refreshing and natural is how I would describe this period of our lives. We have firm intentions, which I believe is incredibly important. But other than that, it's time to let go of this perceived element of control and just allow things to flow the way the universe intends them to flow. Our greatest growth comes from the need to change and adapt to the situations that change around us, not by being in control. So I say, let go in order to grow.
The tide is brutal coming around this headland. It's marked with overfalls on the chart here, and if the wind was against it rather than with it, which it is at the moment, it would be pretty bad. We've got over 3 knots of tide running here. It's spring tides. We're actually still got Perkins purring along as well, because we've got to get from here to the point of air, which is the northernmost tip of the Isle of Man. And it'll be lumpy round there when the tide turns. So with this much tide with us, we may get there before it turns against us. So that's our strategy. But it's swirling and bubbling around here, but it's a gorgeous day.
It amazes us how quickly we settle in and adapt once again to life on board Altor. We thought that we'd feel like we were rattling around when we moved into the house for winter, but we didn't. And you'd think we'd feel like we were on top of each other, well, we are sometimes, when we were back on the boat, but we didn't. So what do we feel? Well, let me tell you. We feel extremely lucky every single day.
So thanks to Perkins, we have made it to the pinch point that is the point of air on the north tip of the Isle of Man, just as the tide is turning. It would have been a very, very long slog because it wasn't very windy, so we would not have been carrying much speed, and once we would have been approaching this from a few miles off, we would have been down to probably 2 knots or something. So Diesel and Perkins have helped us get to this point, and just beyond me there's a cardinal, and when we get to that I think we'll be through this little part and then cruising down the east coast of the Isle of Man, which is pretty damn exciting. We're not even at the cardinal yet, and I can see the flat water. In fact, we're about to go into it. Pretty cool this is. Nice when the sun's shining, of course. Different matter in the rain or in the dark. Here we are. Welcome to the east coast of the Isle of Man. Lovely breeze as we approach Ramsey Bay. We're actually spotted by Pedro and Rhona, who are coming along the coast a bit further that way. They texted us and said, "We think we can see you." So indeed, they spotted us on arrival. We're much earlier than we thought we would be, thanks to the strong tide that's flushed us down here. So we're going to head into Ramsey Bay and either pick up a buoy or drop the anchor. But it's awesome to be in a sun-soaked Isle of Man. Wonderful. Did you get me there, honey?
Yes, good job.
Well done. Come on, dolphins, play for the camera. Our first dolphins of the season welcome us into the Isle of Man. Thank you very much indeed, dolphins. We love you. Is that it? Oh, right there. Well, thank you, dolphins. Short but sweet. Well done. That'll do for now. In the wind. We've abandoned the mission of Ramsey Bay. It's very shallow in there, which means we can't actually get very close in. And there's quite a big breeze whistling through there, so I think we will come and explore Ramsey by land, I guess, but we're going to pop round a bit further south to a place called Laxey Bay, which hopefully will get a bit more shelter in there. It's a bit closer to Douglas, which is where we're aiming for ultimately. So another 5 miles to go or so. So we've just rolled the jib out and we'll just lazily make our way round there. Ashley's doing a good job of zipping the main up in the bag. Careful there, girl, careful there. Just convinced Asher to leave the zipping of the bag until we're safely in the anchorage. Never stop a willing worker, but not if they could fall over the side. Precious cargo, that.
We are now approaching Laxey. It looks really fabulous in the sunshine, and the sea is way less rolly than Ramsey was, so I'm pleased with that because we had a quite rolly anchorage last night, so I would like a peaceful night, perhaps on a buoy. So we're gonna pick up a buoy and we are meeting Rhona and Pedro for our dinner, so that's awesome. I look forward to seeing them. Rhona just told me on the phone that we've met for the first time, and so far the last 2.5 years ago, so everybody's excited for the meeting. So yeah, let's go and find the buoy.
Trust me, when a pole says she's going to find a buoy, there's no stopping her. Resistance is futile. But who am I trying to kid? I've found this ginger pole irresistible from day one.
More at own risk, eh?
Yeah,
Well,
but it looks like a big sturdy buoy.
it looks like a big sturdy buoy, doesn't it?
That's like you.
Right, we're here. Good. What a lovely place. And
Looks-
it's much, much calmer than it was in Ramsey Bay. This is spectacular, isn't it?
It's gorgeous. The town in the sunshine looks so holidayish.
Now I can feel a beer coming on.
Yes.
Well, there you go. What a trip. That has gone so well today, even though Perkins has saved the day because the wind didn't pipe up. But awesome, eh? Tide has ripped south and we're here in, what, 70 odd miles in 10 hours, I think.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting an arrival before the nightfall.
I know.
So
Happy days.
very
Time for a
welcome.
shout.
Yes,
Go ashore and enjoy the Isle of Man.
absolutely.
Asher and I felt a lot of relief arriving on the shores of the Isle of Man in time for the wedding. Sailing on a schedule is always difficult, so we made sure to take the first northerly down from Scotland to make sure we arrived here in good time. And what is this place? I tell you what, it's another one of the UK's best kept secrets. One of the best decisions in my life occurred in 2014 when I decided to cancel my Sky TV subscription. Shortly thereafter, I banished TV from my life altogether. Some people have asked me, how on earth do you manage without it? Well, I managed to keep myself as informed as I want to be, and instead of being told continuously how bad the world is, I prefer to believe my own eyes and look at this place.
I have to say it's a real treat to come somewhere brand new again, and it's so nice when you come ashore and it looks as nice ashore as it does from when you saw it out in the boat. And then you come down these beautiful streets. Feels really lovely and holiday-like, but it's got a real class about it. And then there's beautiful little side streets with pretty houses. Yeah, this has got a good feel, it really has.
Yep, I'll program myself with this beauty over misery any day. And the Isle of Man sunshine has even brought the trolls out.
Well, I thought the trolls lived under the bridge.
It's a sunny day, so I decided to come out to charge you for crossing my bridge.
Oh, I should have kept my gob shut.
A bit of witchcraft and wizardry for you. I found this plant, and when you break it, it has yellow juice. And if you smear the yellow juice on your skin, obviously it leaves yellow stains. And this plant cures warts.
Warts? Wow, I do love you, but I'm not sure warts and all. What are you trying to tell me as I'm backing away from you?
You know, that was just a fun fact.
Anyway, gotta go.
Bye. We were all so excited about going on those trams that go into the mountains around the Isle of Man. But then we saw this tiny train going to the mines. So that's what we are going to do. I'm so excited. Let's go.
We're going down.
I love it when Asher gets this excited. I wish I could do it for her. It reminds me of my youth and playing with trains. It also reminds me not to grow up, because growing up is a trap that is incredibly hard to escape from. I tell you what's far better. Never get trapped in the first place and understand that the answer to the big question is love and joy.
You and I never ever do the tourist things, but I have to say, it's really lovely coming ashore here, isn't it? Isle of Man is a pretty unique place, I think. I know I was here with the TT, but with all the bikes racing around and all the people here, I don't think you really see it, but I think I did actually come in here because I'm starting to recognise a few sort of buildings and pubs. But I have to say, jumping onto this little tourist trail, getting on that awesome little steam train that they ran just the two of us, and now we're going to go and see the Laxey wheel, this biggest working water wheel that pumps water up from the old mine in the world. So come on, tourists, let's go.
You know, there is a term called golden hour in photography, that the best light for photos is so many hours after sunset and then at sunrise, because the sun does not beam from above. But I find the sun beaming from above and the play of light, of the shadows and light of, you know, all the bits and pieces of nature creates such an awesome juicy picture. But there is no such thing as golden hour. Every hour is golden.
A few years ago, I was lucky enough to sail to the Isles of Scilly, and I have to say that visiting the Isle of Man, the two places do feel very similar. I think the main similarities are the fact that they both feel so laid back. The locals are very friendly and extremely happy just to stop and pass the time of day with you. Being here makes you realise what a big rush the rest of the world has gotten into. And the main problem with being in a rush is that it takes you away from where you actually are. And if you are on the Isle of Man on a day like today, then you want to be exactly where you are. It's hard to explain, but there is something about the place that makes you feel very centred, and Asher and I were extremely grateful to be there.
At the beginning of the first season of Adventure Now, I wrote a blog called Vibrational Medicine, and in there I described how I participated in a shamanic ritual called vibrational medicine during a yoga retreat. And the aim of the vibrational medicine was to manifest something that we really wanted. And so I did the ritual, and on my vibration medicine I wrote, I meet the man of my life who loves me and I love him back, and we sailed the world. Soon after that, I have found the website Love Sail, where I met Mark. And Mark likes to recall the story by saying, I saw her picture with a little green dot that said she's online and the Irish flag, and he thought, Ginger and Irish, nightmare, I'm gonna message her. So you kind of think the rest is history, but there is another piece of news, because fast forward from that moment, about 4 years or so, on St. Patrick's Day, very appropriate for Irish, that didn't turn out Irish really, Mark proposed, and I said yes. So this is our last piece of news for the first episode of season 6 of Adventure Now.